That's one of the most fucked up things I've seen this season. I thought it was bad enough when we saw it, but actually seeing her face blow up there. What do you... No, that's not how that works. Someone being vegan doesn't mean they support vegan terrorists. People like this can vote. Holy shit. Oh my god. I can already tell who gets offended by this show. This is hilarious. I'm living my life the way I want to live my life. If you disagree, then go ahead. I'll have my opinion on how you should do things, but, like, I'm not gonna force you otherwise, you dumb fuck. Ooh! See, that's actually an interesting logical flip. So it's okay to go eat other living things other than humans. Why did you draw that line? And he's combating their emotions with logic. And like I said, I'm not vegan, I eat meat, right? And this is what's so interesting. I'm not the only one who thought Ava died, right? They made it look like Ava died in childbirth. That's a fucking plot twist. I said it last week, we're gonna be gatekeeping this show from the casuals. We're gonna keep on that momentum. This show is scratching my brain in all the right ways. Now, if you did get this far in the video, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It helps push videos like these through the algorithm. So if you do want to continue seeing more on YouTube for the Darwin incidents, that's how we help it do even better. And if you want to go even further, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives over there also helps fund the channel, so I can even try to do videos like these over here. Now, Darwin Incident is a very unique show. And as I said last week, I'm not a vegan, not a vegetarian, I eat meat, right? But I'm also not the type of person who gets so irrationally upset by the concept of a vegan or a vegetarian existing. I actually see where they're coming from. And it's so interesting because universally, I think most people, whether what side you fall on, whether you eat meat or not, will agree that this terrorist group is too much. But what's so fascinating about Charlie, RMC, is how he is actually trying to chase after those that are different and those that experience and feel different things than him. But collectively, society is trying to push him away because he thinks differently than those around them. And I find it so interesting because he, like, despite the amount of pushback he's getting, I mean, you have the most obnoxious people lumping him in. Well, if you're vegan and there's a vegan terrorist, therefore you have the same opinion. He's like, bro, just because I share a food lifestyle doesn't mean I agree with bombing children, you fucking Neanderthal. But at the end of the day, he legitimately finds this interesting. He finds it fascinating, right? Because he's like, listen, if I would have been at home safe and sound, no conflict, I would have been bored out of my mind. At least here, my brain's tingling. But these are the types of, like, worse people, and they thrive on conflict. If you respond with emotion, they think they got you. Like, haha, got you. See, you're emotional. We win. But if you actually combat them with any form of logic, they falter and they run away with their tail between their legs. And whether or not you agree with his comparison, it's actually a reasonable combat that he made here. They're basically saying, well, what's going on with the vegan? Where do we draw the line? And Charlie basically just throws in his face like, okay, but why are you making the difference between humans? You can agree that other things other than humans feel pain, so why is it okay to kill them? Why don't you eat humans? And while I disagree with the statement, it's actually a decent argument, and it immediately makes them full because they have some of the most obnoxious arguments. Like, they're bringing up the, we can't even say Merry Christmas anymore. Bro, I've been saying Happy Holidays since I was 8. And you want to know why? Because at the time I had a Jewish friend. I was like, oh, bro doesn't celebrate Christmas, so I'll just say Happy Holidays. It includes everyone. No point in my life I was like, oh, can't say Merry Christmas. I just did, so it included my friend. And that's how reasonable people were up until a few years ago. Even if you said something different or thought something different, people didn't really get mad. But then COVID happened and everything changed and everyone lost their manners. But these are the types of people that sadly can vote, and they're so angry for no fucking reason. What they should be angry about is, damn, a kid just got her face blown off by terrorists. But rather than just simply stereotyping and lumping him in because, well, this terrorist group saved you, granted, that would have been a stronger argument. Hey, are you with the terrorists? You were saved by them back in the day. Instead, their big brain argument is, well, you're a vegan too. People like this can vote. And I find it so interesting because bro doesn't eat meat. He eats vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. But it's so interesting how this guy's going to be like the master at debating, and either school shootings are going to happen because of it, or more terrorist shit will. And I don't know which direction they're going to completely go on, but it's an interesting show because it's so interesting because it's like the difference between urban and rural schools. and those that are constantly surrounded by those that think the same, look the same, all this type of stuff, and those that have a multicultural, multi-religious, multi-everything, and you're forced to interact with people that are different. And this is definitely a very rural environment that, you know, I'm not saying like any place would naturally be weirded out by half chimpanzee, half human, of course, right? Because it's such a different thing. But it's very interesting just how scared they are of him and how they're writing this, because this is a really thought-provoking show. And honestly, I don't really think of anything as cartoonishly evil either, because all type of like terrorist organizations, like they get to a point where it's like, okay, they tried the peaceful, they thought that didn't work, and now we have to escalate. I do think Big Boss here needs to get shot for sure. And you might want to say, well, he feels cartoonishly evil. Look at how they're directing. But honestly, it's just unnerving. And honestly, he's so far up his own beliefs that he can't see what he's doing is wrong. Because we ended the last episode, right, with this girl dying. The restaurant blows up, and we get to actually see what happens this episode. And I think the most tragic thing about the whole experience is it's literally a fraction of a second. She's just running up with the hat because the mom and daughter leave the restaurant, and what ends up happening is, well, they have to go back for the hat. Had they not done that, these two would have lived. And now mother has to live knowing her baby girl blowed up. It's just, it's so tragic. It's just like, they didn't go overly gory with it. We didn't see, like, skeleton rips. Like, you can go frame by frame, right? You don't, like, that looks silly, of course, but you get my point. Like, it doesn't show anything truly graphic, but it gets across all the pain and more, and it's such an effective thing. Though I will say they dropped a very interesting plot twist that I wasn't expecting, because in the first episode, we see Charlie's mother seemingly bleeding out for childbirth, right? Turns out Ava, the monkey that gave birth to Charlie, is still alive. And I'm not sure exactly what the punchline will be with this, because she's obviously still caged up. Monkeys are smart, recognizes that that's her kid. Are we gonna go Planet of the Apes things where eventually, like, Charlie's gonna rise up and have an army of monkeys, like, doing some crazy shit? Because they do establish in this episode that when he was 5, he beat up 7 cops that were armed. Didn't kill them, seemingly, but still was able to overpower them. He has the strength of a chimpanzee and the intelligence of a human. That can be a dangerous combination, and there is a genuine reason to be fearful of that. But it's interesting to see what the goal will be. I think if Lucy dies, Bro could be on a warpath. But at the same time, I'm not sure what the punchline will be. And that has me really excited. This show won't be for everyone for 2 different reasons. There are the smooth brains who can't see things beyond their own worldview and then in return get irrationally mad for no reason because a story, God forbid, tells things from a worldview they don't necessarily agree with or haven't lived. Which, we don't give a shit about those opinions. And then there's the other half that just maybe aren't interested in stories like this. It just doesn't entertain them, and that's okay. But this show fascinates me greatly. I'm having a blast. I think episode 2 is even more thought-provoking than the first, and I thought the first was a great bar to reach. This will be a fun one, and I'm really excited to see where they're going to go from here. But you can let me know your thoughts down below on the second episode. I mean, this is an award-winning source material, right? So, you know, I'm liking I understand why people think looking at a character like Charlie is unnerving because he is a weird-looking character, but I think that's intentionally designed because without that gut reaction of Charlie's weird to look at, we wouldn't have the same opinions of, you know, the general people around him being unnerved and scared because he's different, right? So I think it's intentionally designed, but in general, I do like how the show looks outside of Charlie, and even though I have an issue with how Charlie looks, it's seemingly intentionally designed to make that visceral reaction, right? But your thoughts, drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around, of course, Patreon for live reactions and exclusives like, hey, I love to give video shout outs to my patrons because they make these videos possible. So today we got C, Dennis Jansen, Groudon Vert, James Reinhardt, and we also have Abraham Valquist, so I appreciate the support. Please take care. You know, have a good one.